Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. And as you can see, guys, I'm doing another in the field video. And just real quick about my last video, I was not using an iPhone, guys. I'm using a really expensive setup, but what I've done differently this time is I have lowered my aperture so that essentially you guys can see the background, because I don't think you guys like the blur. So I've lowered my I've increased my aperture or raised it, and I've taken off my ND lens. But regardless, you guys, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna talk about institutional investors and the amount of neighborhoods that they're buying right now. Now, I found an actual neighborhood that was purchased from an institutional investor and turned into rentals. Now, the thing is, guys, I was not able to find this on MLS. I actually found this whole community right here to my left when I was doing my last new construction video, because it was not reporting on MLS. So essentially, there is a massive community to my left right here. It's not even on MLS. An institutional investor has purchased these homes in this whole community and is now turning this community into a bunch of rentals. And the shocking thing, guys, is I'm in a master plan community right now in Kingwood. And you know, this is probably one of the best developments in Kingwood right now. You know, very nice houses, very expensive houses, and it's about to, you know, in this community is now about to have a bunch of rentals that are living next door to single family residences. Now, normally, you know, when you buy a house, a really nice house in a master plan community, normally you don't want, you know, residential rentals being built right next to you, but that's what's happening here. And this is a beautiful community, guys. You can kind of see behind me, you know, this community is so big. That's a church. So they have a church here. They have actually schools here. This is a very beautiful community. As soon as I get to the end here, guys, I'm going to show you a little bit about this. But again, one of the problems, you know, with what you know, an institutional investor coming into a market like this, buying a whole community and turning them into rentals, is all of these houses right here are basically small condos. So all of this is affordable housing that is no longer available to potential first-time home buyers. So not only are they messing up, you know, the current residences here by turning a whole community of rentals right here, but these homes, these smaller, more affordable homes, would generally go to first-time home buyers because it's more affordable. So, you know, let me show you what I'm talking about here real quick. Now, as you guys can see, lots of construction going on here, you know, and this is a massive lot. Okay, do you see that? And I'll show you guys a little bit more views of all of this, but you know, again, this is really shocking. I would have made a video, you know, about this a lot sooner, but this isn't here. This entire property that I'll show you, and I'll show you the other side here in a second, isn't even on MLS. So, you know, I try to do a lot more research. So I emailed these people. I'm like, how much are you going to charge for rent? When will they be completed and things like that? And they still have not talked to me. So I don't know what's going on here, guys. I don't know if they're even going to be able to rent out these houses. If they can't rent out these houses, it's going to create an additional rental problem for any investors. Now, for homeowners or renters, this is actually good news, because of all of this, you know, you got to rent out. It's going to put pressure on existing rentals to lower their price. So really astonishing. And this is a huge amount of property right here. This is a massive lot. All of those houses are affordable houses right there. All of those houses could have gone to first-time home buyers, but instead of that, it's going to the cash flow pockets of an institutional investor. It is what it is, guys, but I did want to confirm with you that an institutional investor bought an entire community inside a master plan subdivision and has essentially created, instead of, you know, like I said, affordable housing for home buyers, an entire rental community. And again, you guys, we don't want that. We want people purchasing homes around us so that it brings up our value. More than likely, you know, having so many hundreds of tenants right down the street from your house is not going to help your property value. So there's so many things wrong with this. And you know, here's another thing. Why are they doing nothing with these properties? Why aren't these properties on MLS? Why can I not get the sales rep to tell me how much the rent is? None of this, you guys, absolutely none of this is making sense to me right now. But again, I've heard a lot of things about institutional investors buying massive lots, entire neighborhoods, and I happened to stumble upon one by complete chance. And here's the other side, guys. Let me show you. You know, and it goes all the way back here. Goes all the way back here, and you guys can see it goes all the way down there. I mean, there it goes way down. There are so many houses down there right now. You know, again, and I want to go in there, but as you can see, trespassing, you know. So I know enough about being a realtor that I should not be stepping foot on any private property doing videos. That is a huge no-no, so I can't step foot in back of there, but I would like to, just to see, you know, where they're at with everything. But as you guys can see here, these are also done, but nothing. They have no tenants, none whatsoever. I mean, look at this. Is a beautiful, beautiful community. I mean, it goes all the way back. It may not bother a lot of people, but you know, you got hiking trails here. You got, you know, splash parks all over the place, pools, and now you guys got a whole bunch of rentals right down the street. So this is a massive problem, guys. And again, I don't think that they're going to be able to sell these. I think that as a result of things like this going on so regularly, I think that is the primary reason why we're starting to see rents go down, and definitely apartment demand is going down. You know, not only because obviously rent went up way too much. Okay, so rent went up way too much. We know that in such a short amount of time, but also we're seeing a lot more inventory and a lot like commercial, residential, and things like that. We're seeing a lot more of those homes sit and stay vacant, especially apartments, especially big apartment units. Again, you guys, because, you know, and Orlando made this point when I was on his channel, but commercial multifamily is like, you know, the belle of the ball, if you will, for investors. So now that a whole bunch of investors have started building, created rentals, created communities like this, and now that demand has been shattered, and now that rents are like starting to go down, this is gonna be a problem right here for a lot of people. And this is not just gonna be a problem, you guys, for the institutional investor if they can't rent this out. This is also going to be a problem for anyone that lives here in this master plan community, because if these houses are just sitting here not doing anything, people are going to break into them. There's going to be crime. There's going to be a lot of problems. So this is bad, you guys, in my opinion, for everyone. But what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to keep track of this development just to see the status. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they veered away from renting this and went back to selling it, because they're not going to be able to rent this. You know, we'll see that. But regardless, guys, I wanted to do another on location report. You know, let me know if you guys like my new aperture. You know, obviously you guys can see the background now, but you know, again, you guys, it cost a lot of money to be able to get that blur. It's called aperture. I really love that effect, but I get it. You guys can't see the background. So I hope you guys like kind of this new format. I'm loosening things up a little bit. I'm trying to get you guys some different content with the same amount of value, but something different, because I can't stand doing videos in my studio. I want to be out here, guys. I want to be in the field. I want to see what's going on, and I want to bring you guys to the location. So again, do me a favor, let me know how you've liked it so far. Now, what I'm going to do right now, guys, is I'm going to hop back into my truck. I'm going to go back to my studio, and we're going to review a short article from Yahoo that breaks down a little bit more about institutional investors and how they're buying communities in bulk. And I wanted to start here because I wanted to show you guys boots on the ground footage that it is actually happening right before our eyes. All right, guys, so I'm back in the studio. We're going to jump into this article real quick just to get a little additional perspective on exactly what's going on with institutional investing. But do me a favor, guys. I forgot to ask you guys, like this video, subscribe if you haven't, shoot me a comment below. And you guys, let me know if you like that style of video, because it's actually, I enjoy it a lot, and it's a lot harder than you think. It was absolutely blinding out there. I could not see whether or not the focus was there. So again, you guys, I hope you like that video. I'm trying really hard to get you guys some new content of similar value to essentially being in the office when I do this. But regardless, you guys, let's get some additional perspective by jumping into an article quickly by Yahoo Finance. Let's take a look. All right, so the name of the article is Institutional Investors Buying in Bulk as Home Buying Cools. So there's just two paragraphs I want to take a look at, guys. What we're seeing is builders have to make their quota. They have to make end of the year numbers. So they're reaching out to folks like us, the institutional owners of houses, and we're buying in bulk using those as rental homes. So essentially kind of what, possibly what we just saw today. Let's read this last one right here. September marked the 9th consecutive month that confidence in the housing market fell among builders as persistent supply chain disruptions and high home prices continue to wedge into their sales and profits. The National Association of Home Builders Wells Fargo Housing Market Index showed. As a result, home builders are slashing prices. About 24% of builders reported reducing home prices, which is up from 19% last month, said NAHB Chairman Jerry Notter, a home builder and developer from Savannah, Georgia. The weakening market could be a factor that people are just not walking in, and the traffic has stopped and looking at models and looking at houses in suburbs and the subdivisions. Really good insights here, guys, and here's how the article ends. Thanks to the elevated construction costs and an aggressive monetary policy, home builders are trying to offload their supply quickly. The trend has prompted builders to think about incentives to boost sales, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. I'm getting 5 to 10 emails or calls a day. It really has picked up. We're so far into the year, people are trying to make their numbers, and we're looking at a 10 to 20% discount off of a retail price that's being offered to us if we're buying in bulk. So these investors, and again, this is an institutional investor talking here, so they're essentially saying they're going to get an additional 10 to 20% off what they're being offered already if they buy in bulk. Pretty astonishing, guys, and we really don't want to see that, obviously. These sales conditions are across the country as companies build these homes for specific purposes to sell to investors. However, there's still too much supply on the market. Right now, there's just too much product. Too many houses have been spec'd that are just sitting on the ground, and these builders really need to move these houses. And folks like us in the institutional rental business are helping these builders by buying up the supply that they have right now. In conclusion, I think this may actually backfire to many of these institutional investors. I think the market is going to be flooded with rentals and new apartment buildings. So much so, the rent will actually go down when traditionally it would go up. When people can't buy houses, they rent. So this is especially intriguing. This is an especially intriguing development that is actually different from 2008. So perhaps now the greed has finally caught up to these investors, and perhaps now they will learn the hard way. And what does that mean to us? It means we need to continue to do the best we can to wait on the sidelines and increase our buying potential, our purchasing power, and our leverage by improving credit, income, and assets, staying encouraged, and becoming an expert in your local housing market. So in other words, you guys, while we're sitting on the sidelines, take this as a blessing, take this as an opportunity. Please do not let this opportunity pass you by being complacent. Now is the perfect time to prepare, because when no one else wants to buy, generally it's the best time to buy. And mainstream media and in the main public still don't know what's going on. I think they're finally starting to sense it. Either way, you guys, happy Thursday. Unbelievable with the midterm elections. I have been saying, and you guys can kind of see why probably now, I'm waiting to do anything until after midterms just because I'm sick of the circus show. I don't know who's going to get elected. It's now Thursday. Obviously, we're past midterms. We still don't know who has the House or Senate. It's really, really frustrating, you guys. But regardless, keep focused on you. Keep focused on your investing goals and getting ahead of the inflation, becoming a winner on the other side of this. But regardless, you guys, if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck, and I hope you win.